Hey, Gene, it's us.
Oh my God!
Yep.
Yay!
It's us again. Here we come around.
It's a beautiful spring day while you ride up and gallop that road.
Absolutely.
No snow?
No
snow?
No snow. This is nice.
Watch out for my woodchucks. They're coming out.
Woodchucks, Kerfuffle? No, that's the rabbit.
Kerfuffle? They're coming out.
What's with the woodchucks? Let me see. He's
It's
here.
spring.
All right.
It's spring again.
All right, that's
Yay!
enough of that.
I'm so happy it's spring. Oh my God, I can't even believe it. This has been the longest winter ever. William, aren't you happy?
Oh, he is. He said he wants a carrot.
We won't see flowers in Montana until the end of May or July. Depends.
Probably not. That's typical Montana. Hey, Gene, it's good to be back. My home
Where
home
you
in
been?
the mountains. Home in the mountains. I've been down in
Where you been?
Florida. Down here.
Florida.
Down here. Down in
We
Florida.
are such opposites. I'm up in the coldest part of the United States, and you're down in the warmest part.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
right. Right now it's warm. Come on down. Anybody
But
come down and visit us? Yep. I'm down here.
We did our first show on the Not Fake News.
We did.
Not Fake News.
Yeah.
That's good. You guys, it's going to be posted soon, but
A lot of editing. But we got through it.
Because it's heavy. Oh my God, it's heavy stuff. One of the things we talked about, I think it's okay to talk on this show because it's not quite as heavy, but it is kind of heavy, is Antarctica.
With everything that's going on down there. For those
Speaking of
for
cold.
those who may have been just kind of not thinking about anything and just flowers and bumblebees and rainbows and nice things.
Me.
Yeah,
That's me.
Exactly. No, this is more the seedy and dark side of the world, that's for sure. There's something down in Antarctica that they ain't telling us about. That's for sure.
I know, what's his name? John Kerry went down there suddenly last fall. Obama went down there. All the politicians that are rich and kind of like from the dark side went down there.
Wait, let's hold back, all right?
And it's like they wouldn't let any of us come because they're hiding something down there.
Oh, they most certainly
I
are.
found out what it is.
Okay, enlighten us now. We're obviously going to be talking about hidden civilizations.
It's so cool. It's so cool. The fact is that they have found an ancient civilization perfectly intact. Looks like it rained and the water froze over it, and now it's melted somewhat, so the tops of the buildings are showing, and they've actually discovered some major technology down there. And I think that major technology is the Valix, which I cannot wait until they resurrect that, although they're not going to tell us for the next 2 years. And I said that in one breath. But the
I'm
Valix, you know what the
impressed.
Valix is?
Yeah, I do. I know what the Valix. I read Philos
It's so
the Tibetan.
exciting.
I read
Oh my
Dweller on
God.
Two Planets by Philos the Tibetan. Yes, I read that.
Yeah. Great book.
Oh, yeah.
But, this car, it's a car that travels in the air, travels in the water, goes 70 miles per second.
Yeah.
You get to your destination pretty fast, and you can go through the water. You don't have to get a boat. It is a boat, and it is a plane, and it is a land vehicle, and it can go through rough terrain, and it runs on quartz crystal or nothing.
Yep. Same kind of stuff that Nikola Tesla was working on. So
Yeah, but they're not going to allow everybody to know about this because it's the dark side. How do you do that Darth Vader thing? Do it.
Look, I am your father.
Oh, God help me.
Yeah, it's
But oh my God, once we get past the hoops of the fallen ones and all their control issues
Breaking
and all their
news.
stuff, we're going to have a new car.
Oh, listen to you. You're so funny. We're going to have a new car.
Can't wait.
Actually, in case you don't believe this, go check it out. I have checked the extensive Trek Upward Radio Show research library, and you will actually see some smuggled out pictures of this civilization.
Yeah, they smuggled them
found
out.
there.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Well,
it's amazing.
And the other thing that you might want to check into was Byrd. Admiral Byrd had taken a trip down there as well, and
Who?
I think it was Admiral Byrd. Let me double check that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
that's true.
they
True.
discovered stuff down there. So this has been going on
big
since
time.
the 40s or the 30s. The Nazis were down there. Everybody was down there except us.
There's still live people down there. I mean, there's a whole civilization of people too.
Yeah, and
they live
you know,
under the earth.
In an opening down there. But
there's supposedly a whole world down there.
But until
Earth.
Allegiant Air or United gets a flight down there daily, I probably won't get to see it. Unless
well, they can't do it. They can't get to these people without the Valix, because the Valix goes underground. Flies.
All right, now we're
Flies
talking
like
about
that.
and all the underground transport systems that are built in this country that people don't know about, that we've talked about.
Oh, now he's getting scary.
Nah, this is there.
No, I know. I've heard about this from someone. And I have been very, 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 very stubborn for many, 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 many years about this conspiracy theory stuff. But there has to be truth to everything else. Why do people make such a big to-do about it? Nothing. This is not about nothing. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I can't even say that word. That's how much I'm not one of them. But I walked into this, and there's some profound, scary truth going on out there, people. And it's.
It's funny. You said you walked into it. It's more like you got slammed over the head with it.
Yeah. Everybody I was attracting, Arthur, all my friends, they were forcing me to listen to all this alternative radio, and I'm like, I can't stand it. And then one day, the light went off.
Boop.
Came on.
Yep.
The light came on.
The light went off. Please, no lights off here, Gene.
And I heard a man by the name of Cliff High. What a name, High. And I went by his name, Cliff High.
Wait, I gotta look
What a
that
name.
up. Did you get that right?
Look at that name. Cliff
Wait.
High.
I'm checking my extensive notes.
He was on
here.
the
Hold on
George Hunter show, and it's called Watch USA, or no, USA Watchdog. And he's a patriot. George Hunter's a patriot.
No,
and
Greg
I love
Hunter.
all the Tea Party people.
Greg Hunter.
Yeah, Greg Hunter. So he was interviewing this guy.
WatchdogUSA.com.
Right. He was interviewing this guy named Cliff High. And this guy blew my mind, what he was saying and how he gets his information. And, because I do astrology and stars, he's talking algorithms. Algorithms. Can you say that?
Algorithms.
Yes. Obviously, I need to take speech class.
Algorithms. No,
But
it's
I
only...
could kind of relate to that because I do stars. I calculate the energy of stars and the mathematical equation of particular lineups and what they do to influence the planet, personally and collectively, and as well.
Yeah. No, this is very interesting stuff. And it's been going on for a long period of time.
Blown away.
Yeah, what's amazing about this is to watch the transformation that Jean has gone through in the last month and a half.
What's happening to her?
Yeah.
She must have a Pluto transit, because this is Pluto stuff, It's
okay,
Pluto
wait.
stuff.
I'm going to turn the clock back, all right? Here we are, the Trek Upward radio show about 6 months ago. Arthur brings up a comment about something, and Gene goes, I refuse to believe this. She would not listen to anything that I said that's going on, so I feel somewhat vindicated, Gene, but that's okay.
Do you remember the name of that show so people can review the record?
Oh, God, yeah, we ought to do, and you ought to hear the difference. Well, I laugh about this because I've been studying this stuff since,
It was the show about
88.
the guns when I got my gun for my birthday.
Are you? That's the one it was? Yeah, go check our archives. It's out
so
on YouTube.
So excited about my gun, and then all of a sudden this conspiracy stuff, and I'm like, leave me alone. I just want to be a Montana cowgirl.
I don't believe it. It's ruining my day. But I mean, You got to admit what the nonsense that we have seen coming out of the press and the absolute lies and the absolute junk that we have seen in the last 2 months.
You got to go to alternative news to get the news.
To get any kind of truth. I mean, we're telling you.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. Now, there are...
Here's the list. Cliff High.
Cliff High, Greg Hunter.
Okay. Greg Hunter. I'm going to kind of stumble through this one. Alex Jones.
A little bit, yes. Alex Jones' sources are pretty good, even though he's a little over the top. But
well, all of them over the top, if you really want to.
Okay. It depends on your frame.
What have you guys been taking anyway? God.
Depends on your frame.
That's what I.
Yeah. Okay, keep going.
Seriously.
Jerome Corsi.
Jerome Corsi. Oh, wait a minute, I got a list here.
Marshall Masters.
Webbots.
Yep.
Whatever that is.
Marshall Masters.
Anyway, that's enough for the first, I don't want to convert everybody to conspiracy, but I do want you to kind of do your homework. This is how we get around fake news and we find the truth. There's a very shadow, ugly, dark thing going on this planet, and it's working through our government. It owns most of our government. And you talk about draining the swamp. To drain the swamp, you got to go down into the alternative news to find out what the heck is in the swamp.
It's bad. Yeah, it's really bad. But if you notice, it sounds like, are we making light of this? No. After a while, you start to understand there's a pattern, and you start to see these guys for where they are. But it is a wake-up call. Yeah. Gene is absolutely right. I remember finding out some stuff that it just flipped me back, and I go, this can't be right. And I would put I would put a prayer out there. I would. I'd say, God, please show me the truth. And the next thing you know.
Well, here's how I...
Yeah.
Let's tell our stories of how we got into this.
Yeah, okay.
My conversion happened because I did read The Dweller on Two Planets and Philos. I've probably read it 5 times because I remembered I had a soul memory of having been there. I even remember the moving sidewalks, where you could stand on the sidewalk. Like in the airports, they're starting doing it where you can stand on that little rubber thing and it takes you across the airport a little faster. Well, they had these moving sidewalks that took you from A to B really quick. That was one of the things I remembered. Although he didn't talk about it in the book.
Okay.
But anyway, that book, just really profoundly moved me because I had soul memories. And then I'm listening by force. One of my friends is forcing me to listen to this show, this interview with Greg Hunter as he has Cliff High on. And Cliff starts going into why Kerry and all of the government officials, high, low, and in between, are going down to Antarctica, and they're not letting anybody else go. They've duct taped it off. You can't get in. And so,
how about penguins? Have they let the penguins in?
Yeah, and guess where they're vacationing right now? The Obamas are vacationing really close to this location.
The tip of Argentina down there at the.
So they can get over there really quick because
Exactly.
this is a score. This is a huge, huge score. There's been nothing like it, and they're not telling anybody. It's so top secret. It's beyond top secret. And I'm, and if you start talking about this stuff on the radio, people are going to roll their eyes. But let me tell you, they discovered, I knew because of Philos's book, that this was true when I heard it from his mouth. And then he got into some details and some facts. And, I got that still small voice in the back of my head that tells me when things are true and when they're not. This rang so true. I was like, wow. What more do they have to tell us? Well, let me do some more research into some of this stuff, this conspiracy stuff that I have refused to look at. How did you get into it, Arthur?
Actually, this was a long time ago. I as a child, I had been studying the Air Force Blue Book. There was a study that they had done on UFOs, and it was called Project Blue Book by the Air Force. Well, we have come to understand and know since that time that Project Blue Book was actually a misinformation out from the government. But I remember listening to a lecture from Elizabeth Clare Prophet on The Planet Belongs to the Gods. And in this lecture, she had actually talked about Sitchin, Zachariah Sitchin, his books, and had talked about the fact that there are alien races that do exist. Some are benign, some are not.
12th Planet.
Yeah.
12th Planet,
The
Zachariah
12th Planet
Sitchin. I've read
and a
that.
couple other ones. And I remember sitting there and it was more like a spiritual baseball bat whacked me. I mean, I remember I was driving a car, and it was like the next thing I know, I go, oh my God, this is true. Oh my God, this is true. This is true. So then from that point on, I started looking further into some of the deeper teaching that is out there, and of course, it's all supported by religious artifacts and various things that they have uncovered through civilizations. And then I started getting into further research into this and find out what these guys were actually doing, which led to people like, she's frequently on Coast to Coast. She's very good. What is Linda Moulton Howe? And so she's done a lot of research.
Never heard of her.
You've never heard of her? Oh my God, she was HBO.
Well, I'm new at this.
She was an HBO producer. And I actually saw her at a conference one time, and I also met a gentleman by the name of William Cooper. And William Cooper was one of the first people to start exposing what the shadow government and the dark government had been doing. And this was actually back in the 90s when I met this man. He has since died. They tried attempted assassinations against him 3 or 4 times, ran him off the road once. And he was
a lot of them get killed.
Yeah, William Cooper.
Oh my God. It's a good thing I'm not afraid, and we have friends in high places like Archangel Michael, because you know what? We're kind of exposing stuff right now.
It is, and it can be a scary thing. And then when you...
No fear.
Right.
No
But
fear.
the other part of it is, though, is you have to pick up the spiritual understanding of why things are the way they are, and you can put everything into perspective, no matter how bad it is.
Right.
So that's why we're able to
There's
deal
no
with this
such
kind of
thing as bad.
Right, exactly. So what you have to do is pick up the understanding of why things are the way they are, what would happen, why are these people here, why are these races there? Well, you're going to have to challenge some of your belief systems like reincarnation or karma or some of the other ones that we have talked to you about over and over again. So you got to challenge this. But that's how I got started.
I got to tell you.
What?
I got rich also listening to this show for my particular first encounter with this, because after he talked about Atlantis, he went into silver and silver, buying silver. And it's way down right now. It's like at 17 an ounce or so. But he was talking about the fact that if this stuff ever gets to the surface, the shadow government, as time goes by, it'll be revealed in a couple of years. These things are going to be mainstream knowledge. And silver is one of the things that they will find goes sky high, because they need silver to this particular metal to advance the technology or something. And so technology would pay a whole lot of money for this. So, and he went into a whole lot of stuff about silver and gold, and he motivated me. And so I thought, you know what, every time I do a chart, I'm just going to take 20% and go buy an ounce of silver, ounce of gold, whatever, and build up my little savings account. In fact, he implied that you should use this as your savings account, because you cannot. And as time goes on, the Dow is going crazy, and eventually the banking systems are going to go crazy. And sometimes they don't give you all your money when you want it. They'll only give you a part of it and say, well, you got to wait 24 hours to blah, 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 blah. So having your savings account in your own hands, silver, gold, whatever it is, your titles to your car, the titles to your land, this, gives you control of your life rather than someone else.
Yeah, and
so anyway, that got me excited.
Yeah, that's one of the big motivating factors. And gold and silver, I mean, there's a whole discussion to begin with. I mean, we've talked about shows where we've talked about money, and you have to understand that our paper money is not backed by anything other than somebody's assumption as to what a dollar is worth. So the only thing of real value is land, gold, silver, commodities like that, and your titles to your automobiles.
And you want to be able to access it with your own little fingers.
Yeah,
that's the thing, and it's so fun playing with. Not that I, have a whole treasure chest, but
all right. And the other thing, we were talking about this yesterday on our show, is that some gold coins, like an ounce, can be pretty steep or expensive for somebody, but you can get a smaller denomination, which is the size of a dime, and that's a tenth of an ounce of gold. So
pile up on
get
your
that
little
gold.
dimes. That it's worth it. Yeah,
Yep.
get it. Because another thing is happening that's going to push the market up in silver and gold. And they say that gold, even by August, could go up to like $200, $300 an ounce. But there's a mass. There's a mass.
You mean
I guess
silver?
flood of people buying gold in India right now because of that rupee thing.
Yeah.
We talked about that a little bit. Go listen to our new show when it's, it's going to be available
when it's posted
in about a week.
Hopefully it'll be sooner than that. In fact, as soon as we're finished with this show today, I got work to do. So
does he ever?
New websites, new Facebooks, new Twitters. But
we're still going to do this wonderful Trek Upward radio show because we want to bring this information to you in joy. We want you to laugh.
Exactly.
And while you're in miserable pain because the reality check comes in. And says,
so here we go.
My God, the UFOs really do exist. What?
What?
Give me a break. Yes, they do. Oh, my God. Shoot. They probably got the technology for the Valix, or maybe they gave it to us. There's a lot of pyramids supposedly down there. You
know what? That's good. Yeah. I'll post a link on the Trek Upward radio show for the book, and I'll see if I can get it on YouTube as well, for Philos the Tibetan, a dweller on two planets. You got to read that because it's the story.
Look, you guys, we are not nutballs. We are not nutcases. We are not knuckleheads. We may sound like it, but let me tell you, Gene
is not wearing a tinfoil hat. I can tell you that. I can see it now.
Oh my God. I had this really good friend who, like 5 years ago, tried to talk me into making this copper wire thing that was going to keep the chemtrails off of him. I'm like, oh my God, get me out of here. There is some crazy stuff. You got to admit, some of it's kind of wild.
All right, I got to tell you, prior to my serious search for the truth, right, trying to figure out what was going on, I was introduced to crystal rods, and anybody out there who's psychic or whatever knows exactly what I'm talking about. And they were these rods that these psychics had put together, apparently from Atlantis, and they're basically wrapped with a copper wire, and they are to amplify thoughts and do all sorts of other stuff. So, people are... Be careful of that stuff.
Don't get psychic about it. When you start discovering some of these truths, don't get psychic. I mean, the astral plane can be deep and dark, and it can catch you and drown you.
Okay, but wait, let me tell. I got to tell this part of it. A lot of this study, way back when I was younger, and for those who don't know, I had a sister that got involved in a lot of psychic activity, so I ended up, having to deal with things that were around. But anyway, to make a long story short, there was a lot of stories about Atlantis, and there were a lot of stories about the crystals and the motivation. And the Philos the Tibetan story is important because it tells you how that technology actually worked. They had these huge mother crystals, and they believe that one of them is in the focal point right at the bottom of the Bermuda Triangle, and that some of these things that have occurred in the Bermuda Triangle that have been reported, this green thing, compasses going haywire, instruments and aircraft doing this, and there are some very compelling stories out there. In fact, one guy who was flying out over the Bermuda Triangle made it through, and he talks about incredible stories that the sinking of Atlantis, that this mother crystal is actually down there somewhere, and it's causing these kind of electromagnetic Earth-type disturbances with this energy. And so apparently there's these different points that are around, and the devices would use this mother crystal with smaller crystals that resonated with this, and that's where they were able to get the energy. So they actually tapped into the energy systems of the planet. And this is kind of like, if anybody studied or even read anything about Nikola Tesla, it's a lot of that stuff. So it's pretty cool stuff. So that
I got to say that they're not saying this is Atlantis.
Nope.
This is an older civilization. This is a civilization that was before Atlantis. So Atlantis was, it makes us like millions of years old.
Oh, there have been so many civilizations coming up that up, ebb and flow, up and down, ebb and flow. So it's not just this one linear timeline that everybody thinks has been going on. I mean, there's civilizations, Lemuria, Atlantis, that we're aware of, which were very high spiritual civilizations that a lot of us were involved in. Some of us older souls that have been down here way too long, and it's time to go home.
And you got to look at it this way.
Yes.
You live in the physical world, which is based on time and space. When you go beyond the veil to the heaven world, there is no time and space. So millions of years can be a blink in God's eye. But down here, it may seem like it takes forever just for a day. Although it seems like days are going faster. I think that's a Pluto transit that's causing that.
Really? No kidding. That's interesting.
Yeah, because it has a weird orb. It orbs like oblong rather than just completely around.
Yeah, it's tilted to the equatorial plane
tilted.
of our solar system. It's like, what is it, tilted to some many degrees?
So I think somehow this kind of puts a weird understanding of what time is. It warps the time. So anyway, but that being said, so that's why it's no big deal that we discover something that's 1 million years old. So, I'm thinking this is enough. I've had my cup full. That full. Conspiracy stuff I got to ease into it.
It's interesting to watch your transformation here, Gene. I just want you to know that.
Do your homework.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, do your homework. What they're doing to Trump is a crime. It is a crime. And this is part of it. This whole dark shadow, the whole, I don't know. Ooh, do you got that button where you can do the sci-fi thing?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's not quick to the draw. Yeah, anyway.
My sound effects machine went to sleep. I can't believe it.
Everybody, you know what? Fear is the one thing you need to overcome. It's not real, and a lot of times fear is hyped up by too many caffeine products. So stop drinking caffeine and look at these objectively, and start making best friends with Archangel Michael, because nothing can touch you if you're his best friend, and I'm not kidding. And I think we should wrap this show up. William, where are you?
Okay, we're out of here.
Bye. Oh, we gotta.
Let Gene do an astrology consultation for you, your family, or your friends. Go to astrologygenehart.com or give her a call or text her at 1-406-599-3934. There are powerful spiritual tools available to help you deal with planetary and personal challenges, and these can be found at prophecyisgiven.com. And be sure to visit our website at thetrekupwardradioshow.com or stop by on Facebook at www.facebook.com/trekupward, and be sure to hit like on our page, or visit YouTube and search for the Trek Upward Radio Show. Be sure to subscribe so you do not miss another episode of the Trek Upward Radio Show. The Trek Upward Radio Show is a studio at 5,600 feet production.